You will have started and then moved and whatever, and you need to accept that now and be openly looking for those opportunities as you go. It doesn't mean you failed. It just means you learned as you went along, and you'll find better ways to do it.
Yes, absolutely. Pivoting, trying and error, changing, customize. That was so insightful. Thank you so much. And I know we need hours to talk about how to start and how to build the center from A to Z and how to do the bootstrapping. But I'm sure you other sessions, workshops will be much more rich in information. So thank you so much. Thank you to Benan, thank you to Stanley for the session, and thanks everyone.
And then we define the alumni model, it worked, the same alumni, but the local mentorship model didn't really work out because of commitment. When a mentor is not paid, it's very hard to hold them accountable unless they are a very well established professional in their field and they've made it and they really just want to give back. That wasn't the case in our situation. We were picking from every corner because we were excited about the program, wanted to get it going. So we ended up leaving the local mentors and restructured that to a much more structured way of consultancy. Let me just call it a consultancy.
Yes.
We adopted a consultancy model for each of our businesses, for each of our companies that we were supporting, to defining a faculty comes also with a lot of responsibility.
You would know someone about that, etc. We also have a large, what we call professional services network, which is all volunteers. That is several hundred people. That they're willing to meet with our entrepreneurs on sort of more of a short-term or one-off basis, where you can sit down and say, I have a question about point-of-sale machines. I have a question about drug development. They might be around raising money. It sort of depends on where they are. And we give them someone as a coach who is, and it's free to them. 20 years of how we got funded and up and going, and all the pivots and changes that we've made to go from 5 million to 20 million, et cetera, et cetera. So also we're interested in more because we can talk a lot about it, and I think it's very important that folks who are in this kind of space learn that besides find a sustainable funding source, find the real tech tactics to do it. I'll also throw a shout out for something called INBIA, which is the International Business Incubation Association, which is an international group of folks who do this around the world. And it's a great conference to go to learn specifically things on that as well. But now I'll actually answer your question. And the answer is yes. So both. We have both types of mentorship. So we have a number of what we call entrepreneurs in residence on our staff that we pay. I think total 10 or 11, 6 or 7 on the tech side and 3 or 4 on the non-tech side. That we will provide as long-term coaches and mentors. And by long-term, I mean 3 to 6 months for folks that they are.
What is your model when you work with a mentor? What is the mentor profile? Is it paid or not?
So, first of all, let me say,
they have the choice.
Yes, they have the choice.
Yes.
However, we've had a very low intake or very low interest initially when we started. We used to have about 5 students in the entrepreneurship track. However, when they started noticing what was going on with the first 4 companies we took in, and then we took in more 5, they got excited. Right now, that class is about 30 students. So it's growing from about 5, then we went to about 10, now we have 30.
Perfect. I participated in a roundtable discussion for entrepreneurship educators with panelists from 15 different countries. All of them agree that entrepreneurship education and the objective for student engagement is mindset, not number of startups. So absolutely. And if education is obligatory for everyone, it's quite challenging because not everyone, there should be a way to engage them but not to force them to this direction. So one last question, because this gentleman is asking us that we are also we need to finance, but you want to take lunchtime from our panel? And we will not do that. So maybe in 5 minutes, I want to ask you about one last question to both of you related to mentors and coaches and training, because a big part of our activities is related to mentorship and coaching, and
ideas. The second way was ensuring that research was not just for the sake of research, but having actual projects that could easily get translated into the innovation level 1 program. So for us, those have been the two main ways. The research aspect has turned out to be a very big internal feeder for the incubator than actually students who go out and graduate without going through the research track, CMU students. So that is how we have tried to navigate the education piece, feeding the incubator, but as well as the research aspect. We usually hire some of our graduates, recent graduates, as research associates for about 6 to 12 months, and within that time they are working on their initial projects that they started while they were in school, and a professor that guides them during that time, either into a publication or an actual project that we take into the lab to support.
perfect. And concentration, is it major, minor, core, elective, obligatory?
So concentration is a major. When you say someone else is defining it as an accelerator, they all define in terms of the expected outcomes. Getting back to your question of the students, it's still a struggle, I'll tell you, because most of our students are on scholarships. So usually it's CMU programs pay the same tuition across all CMU campuses, 50-something thousand US dollars. Now, for a student to fail a course, you can imagine how much they would have to pay. And that is a very big challenge. However, in Rwanda, we are lucky that the government of Rwanda is subsidizing the tuition fee for every student to be able, for every African student to be able to pay about 18,000 to study at CMU in Africa, because CMU in Africa is an invitation by the government, so hence the subsidy. Now, attracting students to an entrepreneurship program was a big challenge, because most of the time we are focused on getting grades right, and then after getting grades, they'll get jobs and then come back 3-4 years down the road when they graduated and earned some money. So we had to think first the educational way, introduce an entrepreneurship concentration within the master.
Back to you and tell people what a great experience they had at your college. Remembering that you're trying to solve a problem and that you're less about the solution, which is an accelerator program for CMU students, and more about the problem, which is getting more folks on the continent engaged in innovation entrepreneurship. Suddenly, you're more apt to be willing to pivot and change your solution because you're really still focused on the same problem.
Yes, so
And there's also this buzzwords we use: incubator, pre-incubator, accelerator. Right? They are all defined differently. What you define as. So our team worked on a number of proposals, one of which was to the MasterCard Foundation, and the foundation was impressed with the proposal, and did not fund only research, but it funded teaching, learning, and entrepreneurship. So right now we are running Pan-African programs in over 8 countries, and with each country impacting 3 to 5 neighboring countries across, and universities within. So for example, in Cairo, we have the American University in Cairo, and through the American University in Cairo, we've managed to connect with about 5 universities here, this one included. Partnerships, very, very, very much important. I think for us it was a very strong one. Also designing with industry in mind, because industry gave us proof of concept to convince the development partners that we knew what we were trying to do, and they trusted us to fund us. So briefly, that is it right now in terms of impact as well.
Hear me when you said politics, because I was thinking of national American politics, which are pretty scary. You're talking about university politics, which are even scarier than national politics. So, but it's a great point, because it is something we encounter every day. We have a great business school, we have a great college of engineering, we have a great medical school, and they all think that entrepreneurship, and innovation, and technology, that's their world. And that they're going to teach a class and give a degree or a certificate, and most importantly, get the tuition revenue associated with that. And here I am doing something commercial, which is a little dirty to begin with, and isn't going to provide them any revenue,
Yes.
and is going to be a distraction for them.